محمد وعلى آل محمد صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد انہوں نے کرام بارگی کے بآواز بلند صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى محمد وعجل فرجه۔ مولوی کرام مجلس کا آغاز تلاوت کلام پاک سے کریں گے۔ خاص کروں گا ننھے ذاکر سید علی اصغر شہبازی سے تشریف لائیں اور محمد وعلى آل محمد بارے دیگر بآواز بلند صلوات پڑھیں۔
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه۔ صل على محمد وآل محمد۔
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير والذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت ارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر واسع حكيم صدق الله العليم العظيم۔
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه۔
جزاک اللہ علی اصغر۔ اور مولوی کرام میں درخواست کروں گا آج کی مجلس کے پہلے وصیہ گزار برادر عباس کریم سے تشریف لائیں اور محمد وعلى آل محمد بارکی کا سلام۔
صلوات پڑھو ہمارے محمد۔ نعرہ تکبیر،
اللہ اکبر،
نعرہ رسالت،
یا رسول اللہ،
نعرہ حیدری،
یا علی۔
شبیر یہ سب دنیا
سبحان
تیرے نام سے زندہ ہے،
سبحان
یہ دین نبی حق کا تیرے نام سے زندہ ہے، اللہ کا بھی کلمہ تیرے نام سے زندہ ہے، والفجر میں تو شامل، تطہیر میں تو شامل، کوثر کی مودت کی تفسیر میں تو شامل، والعصر کا بھی سورہ
سبحان
تیرے نام سے زندہ ہے،
سبحان اللہ، سبحان اللہ۔
شبیر کا مرثیہ خان، شبیر کا شاعر بھی، پہچان یہی ہے اب تیرے سبت جعفر کی،
واہ واہ،
صد شکر تیرا بندہ تیرے
تیرے نام سے زندہ، سبحان اللہ، سبحان اللہ۔
صد شکر تیرا بندہ تیرے نام سے زندہ ہے.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللہ دربار میں زینب کا وہ خطبہ.
سبحان
اللہ دربار میں زینب کا وہ خطبہ. یزدان کے الفاظ، یزدان کے الفاظ، شاہ مردان کا لہجہ.
واہ 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 واہ.
اللہ دربار میں زینب کا وہ خطبہ.
سبحان.
ہم اس کے کہ جس نے ہمیں رحمت سے نوازا، ہم اس کے کہ جس نے ہمیں رحمت سے نوازا، نبوت سے امامت سے شہادت سے نوازا. ہے پاس تیرے بھی کوئی، ہے پاس تیرے بھی کوئی رتبوں میں رتبہ.
واہ 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 واہ. سبحان اللہ سبحان اللہ سبحان اللہ.
جد پاک محمد ہے ہمارے کہ تمہارے، جد پاک محمد ہے ہمارے کہ تمہارے. آتے ہیں ملک گھر میں ہوا رے کے تمہارے. بیٹھا تھا جھکائے سر، بیٹھا تھا جھکائے سر، وہ غرور کا پتلا.
واہ واہ واہ. سبحان اللہ سبحان اللہ سبحان اللہ. واہ سبحان.
جد پاک محمد ہے ہمارے کہ تمہارے، جد پاک محمد ہے ہمارے کہ تمہارے. آتے ہیں ملک گھر میں ہمارے کہ تمہارے. حزب اللہ کی بیٹی ہوں، حزب اللہ کی بیٹی ہوں، تو شجرہ خبیثہ. ہر دربار میں زینب کا وہ خطبہ. کس جرم میں یوں مارا ہے احمد کا نواسا، کس جرم میں یوں مارا ہے احمد کا نواسا. تن خاک پہ سر، ساگ پہ سر، تن سے علیحدہ. کیا گوروں کی ٹانپوں نے، کیا گوروں کی ٹانپوں نے دفن بائی ہے میرا. اللہ دربار میں زینب کا وہ خطبہ. تو نے تو کنیزوں کو ہے پردے میں بٹھایا، تو نے تو کنیزوں کو ہے پردے میں بٹھایا. بے پردہ نبی زادیاں در بار میں لایا. اللہ سے شکایت ہے، اللہ سے شکایت ہے، اسی پر ہے بھروسہ.
سبحان سبحان.
ہر دربار میں زینب کا وہ خطبہ. یزدان کے الفاظ، یزدان کے الفاظ، شاہ مردان کا لہجہ یار دربار میں زینب کا خطبہ
اللهم صل على
دل صبر کے منبر پہ بٹھایا کہ خدا ہے، اور صبر کو اعزاز بنایا کہ خدا ہے۔ زینب کا بیاں لہجہ علی سوپ خدا بند، زینب نے زمانے کو سنایا کہ خدا ہے۔
سبحان اللہ۔
اور اکرام آج کی مجلس کے دوسرے مسئلہ گزار درخواست کروں گا برادر عادل کریم سے تشریف لائیں اور محمد علی محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد۔
نعرہ تکبیر،
اللہ اکبر،
نعرہ رسالت،
یا رسول اللہ،
نعرہ حیدری،
یا علی،
حیدری،
یا علی، اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد۔
ایک مرتبہ ہے جس میں مولا عباس علیہ السلام کی شان یہ ہے اور یہی زینب سلام اللہ کی شان یہ ہے۔
سبحان اللہ، سبحان اللہ، بسم اللہ۔
مولانا صاحب آپ کی جاری تھے سرور بھیجیے گا محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد۔
ایک فاطمہ کا بیٹا، ایک مرتضیٰ کی بیٹی، ایک فاطمہ کا بیٹا، ایک مرتضیٰ کی بیٹی، عباس اور زینب، عباس اور زینب،
واہ واہ، سبحان اللہ۔
ایک فاطمہ کا بیٹا، ایک مرتضیٰ کی بیٹی،
ماشاء
عباس اور زینب، عباس اور زینب، ہے پنجتن کے گھر میں، ہے پنجتن کے گھر میں، تصویر پنجتن کی،
واہ 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 واہ،
عباس اور زینب،
سبحان اللہ، سبحان اللہ،
ہے پنجتن کے گھر میں،
تصویر پہنچی،
تصویر پنجتن کی،
ماشاء اللہ،
عباس اور زینب، ایک زینت علی ہے تو ایک ہو بہو علی ہے،
واہ 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 واہ،
کس بات کی کمی ہے،
سبحان اللہ،
کس بات کی کمی ہے، رتبے میں منزلت میں، رتبے میں منزلت میں، ہے دو جہاں پہ بھاری، عباس
واہ واہ
اور
واہ واہ،
زینب،
سبحان اللہ، سبحان اللہ،
ہے دو جہاں پہ بھاری، عباس اور زینب،
ماشاء اللہ،
محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد،
مولا کائنات کی شان میں
ماشاء اللہ،
مل گئی تجھ کو خدائی یا علی کے کہنے کے بعد
واہ 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 واہ،
مل گئی تجھ کو خدائی پیالے کہنے کے بعد
ماشاء اللہ.
مل گئی تجھ کو خدائی یا علی کہنے کے بعد ہاں یہی ہوتا ہے بھائی.
واہ 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 سبحان اللہ.
نعرہ حیدری.
یا علی واہ واہ واہ
ہاں یہی
واہ واہ
ہوتا ہے بھائی
واہ.
یا علی کہنے
نعرہ حیدری.
یا علی ماشاء اللہ.
جام کوثر پی لیا فردوس میں گھر لے لیا. جام کوثر پی لیا فردوس میں گھر لے لیا. ارے اس قدر دولت کمائی
واہ واہ واہ
یا علی
واہ واہ
کہنے کے بعد
سبحان اللہ سبحان اللہ.
حاجیوں کو غازیوں کو خم میں صحبائے ولا. حاجیوں کو غازیوں کو خم میں صحبائے ولا. خود محمد نے پلائی.
واہ 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 سبحان اللہ. نعرہ حیدری. سبحان اللہ سبحان اللہ.
اور یہ خاص کر ایک جوانوں کو پیغام ہے جو اس زندگی میں جو ہے وہ اپنے اپنے مشکلات سے گزرتے ہیں.
ماشاء
ان
اللہ
کے لیے ایک میں چھوٹا سا نسخہ دیتا ہوں.
ماشاء اللہ.
میں نے پوچھا کامیابی کی سند ملتی ہے کب.
ماشاء اللہ.
میں نے پوچھا کامیابی کی سند ملتی ہے کب. تو عرش سے آواز
واہ واہ
آئی
واہ 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 واہ
یا
واہ واہ
علی
سبحان اللہ.
کہنے
کیا
کے
کہنے.
بعد.
نعرہ حیدری.
اور آج ہی انکل جہانگیر اور انکل میر صاحب کا ذکر ہو رہا تھا
ہاں
تو ان کی یاد میں یہ شعر پیش کر رہا ہوں.
ماشاء اللہ.
میں یہاں زندہ رہا تو کیا ہوئی حیرت کی بات. میں یہاں زندہ رہا تو کیا ہوئی حیرت کی بات. ارے کب کسی کو موت
واہ 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 واہ
آئی
واہ واہ. سبحان اللہ سبحان اللہ سبحان. نعرہ حیدری.
اور اے مسلمان آ گلے مل تو بھی مومن ہو گیا. اے مسلمان آ گلے مل تو بھی مومن ہو گیا. ارے کیسا جھگڑا کیا لڑائی
واہ واہ واہ
یا
واہ یا علی. واہ واہ سبحان اللہ.
کیسا جھگڑا کیا لڑائی
واہ واہ
یا علی کہنے کے بعد.
ماشاء اللہ.
اور جناب گوہر چاچوی صاحب کا کلام ہے. قلب بوزر کی طرح حر کے مقدر کی طرح. قلب بوزر کی طرح حر کے مقدر کی طرح روشنی دوہر نے پائی
واہ
یا علی
سبحان اللہ
کہنے
سبحان
کے بعد.
بہت ماشاء اللہ. اللهم
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بہت خوبصورت ہمیشہ بہت خوبصورت کلام جو ہے وہ دلاتا ہے. ایک اور بہت خوبصورت کلام دلاتا ہے. اور وہ نگران آج کی اس مجلس کے آخری نصیحت گزار درخواست کو برادر ذیشان علی حسین سے تشریف لائیں اور محمد محمد صلی اللہ
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
محمد وعجل الفرج.
نعرہ تکبیر،
اللہ اکبر،
نعرہ تکبیر،
اللہ اکبر.
نعرہ رسالت،
یا رسول اللہ،
نعرہ رسالت،
یا رسول اللہ،
نعرہ حیدری،
یا علی،
نعرہ حیدری،
یا علی.
محمد آل محمد وسلم.
اللہم صل علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل الفرج.
میری زنجیر نہ کھینچو، سکینہ جاگ جائے گی. میری زنجیر نہ کھینچو، سکینہ جاگ جائے گی. مچاؤ شور نہ لوگو، سکینہ جاگ جائے گی. میری زنجیر نہ کھینچو، سکینہ جاگ جائے گی. کبھی بچی کو تکتا ہے، کبھی آنسو بہاتا ہے. درے زندان پہ بیٹھا مسافر سب سے کہتا ہے، ذرا آرام سے گزرو، سکینہ جاگ جائے گی. میری زنجیر نہ کھینچو، سکینہ جاگ جائے گی. کسی بھی ظلم پہ جو آہ کی خاطر وہ لب کھلتے، تڑپ کر عابد بیمار یہ کہتا تھا ہونٹوں سے، اگر یہ آہ نکلی تو سکینہ جاگ جائے گی. میری زنجیر نہ کھینچو، سکینہ جاگ جائے گی. ابھی زندان میں ہو جائے گا بحران پھر برپا، وہ آہٹ سن کے سمجھے گی کہ شاید آ گئے بابا. در زندان نہ کھولو، سکینہ جاگ جائے گی. میری زنجیر نہ کھینچو، سکینہ جاگ جائے سرے زنداں سکینہ کو قضا کی نیند کیا آئی، کسی سے کچھ نہیں کہتا اس مظلوم کا بھائی، کہ اب یہ ڈر نہیں اس کو سکینہ جاگ جائے گی، میری زنجیر نہ کھینچو، سکینہ جاگ جائے گی۔
اللهم صل على
Moving on now without further ado, I would like to request Maulana Qasim Malik to please come to pulpit. Only can please welcome Maulana with a loud salam.
اللهم صل على
حیدری
یا علی
محمد علی بیت محمد بنتر نعرہ صلوات
اللهم صل على
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، سيدنا ونبينا وشفيع ذنوبنا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. بے شمار
أما بعد، فقال الله سبحانه تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. Respected brothers and sisters in Allah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
والسلام ورحمۃ اللہ
I
وبرکاتہ.
apologize, I am quite tired. About approximately 3 hours. If I was gibberish, forgive me. In the month of Muharram, Safar, we should attempt to revive the message and the teaching and the lessons of this epic, which is called the Epic of Ashura. And you ought to see what was the reason, what was the purpose, what was the incentive, what was the motive, what was the motivation, what was the impetus, what was that driving force which led to this movement and revolution, what led these companions, the dear companions of Muhammad to make this monumental sacrifice, knowing very well that there were only a few 70 to 100 odd individuals, and they knew the opposition. They were masses, 30,000 and above, the most barbaric, the most sinister, the most wretched individual, heartless individual, who did not have any mercy on even a 6-month baby. How did they happily make such a sacrifice? What was the motivation behind that? And in order to learn, you have to study, you have to examine the supplications of Imam Hussain, the slogan of Imam Hussain, the rallying call of Imam Hussain, the various conversations and dialogues that he had with people, the various sermons and letters that he wrote, the battle cries of the companions of Imam Hussain. The way to learn that from, you learn it from the top. One of the means of learning that is the number. And this is why the Masuni and Islam have said, من جلس مجلسا يحيى فيها أمرنا لم يمت قلبه يوم تموت القلوب. Whoever attends a majlis in which Our matters are revived, our affairs are spoken about, that person, his heart will not die. His heart will continue to beat on the day when all the hearts will die. Meaning he will
Subhanallah.
not despair and he will not be hopeless on that frightful day which is known as the day of judgment.
Subhan.
There are certain narrations in Islam that have said, and yet to the bahar. It is necessary to write them in gold, not just gold color, no, real gold. For example, one of the narrations which is mentioned, it is نفس المحمود لظلمنا تسبيح وحمه لنا عبادة. That whoever, every breath that a person takes in a majlis in which our sorrow and our affair is mentioned, that is glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whoever cries a single drop of tear, that is ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is worship. Where do you find another narration on a similar scale and magnitude? That is for the month of Ramadan. In the month of Ramadan, it is said that if you sleep or even if you breathe, it is considered to be worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, if you want to enjoy the benefits of the month of Ramadan, when it is not the month of Ramadan, then come to the Majlis of Abdullah. However, it is conditional that the matter of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, it is revived. That is very important. There are various benefits of coming to Majlis. The fact that your sins are forgiven and the Ma'asumin alayhi salam, they become happy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the doors of tawfiqat so that you can pursue in the pursuit of perfection your insight, your recognition, your ma'rifah, your basira, your muwadda, your affection towards Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, that increases. There are many benefits of coming and attending to a majlis. One of the core, one of the focal and most important lessons of Ashura, it is not to despair and become hopeless.
Subhan.
What do we
Subhan.
say now of the
Subhan.
There are so many expressions in the Quran that are used to highlight this point. قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسكم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا. O people, O my servant, do not despair. O those who have transgressed a lot in abundance, do not despair, do not become hopeless of my mercy. I will forgive everything unconditionally.
Subhanallah.
Do
Subhanallah.
not
Subhanallah.
be amongst the
Subhanallah.
despondent. لا تكن من القانتين. Do not be amongst the hopeless. So many expressions which have been used in the Quran, and that is one of the most important lessons of Qadr. Please recite one salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Please recite one salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajal faraj.
When this hopelessness penetrates and enters our life, then many praiseworthy traits such as resoluteness, resolve, determination, bravery, all of this ebbs and fades away. And the achievement that we aspire for, because we often say whenever the names of the Ahlul Bayt and the Ashab is mentioned, Ya laytani kunna ma'akum fa'afuza fawzan 'azima, or we wish, we yearn, we long that we were with you so that we would have also achieved that monumental achievement and accomplishment that you achieved. But you lose that. Because the Ma'soom, in particular Imam Sadiq alayhi salam,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
the companion of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the salutation is Assalamu alayka ayyuha Rabbaniyun. Who? The companions of Imam Hussein. Rabbani. Rabbani is godly. That's the highest distinction that you can reach. That means you maximized your capacity and the potential that was within, you maximize it. And you achieve that goal. This is the title that Imam Sadiq, an authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, uses about whom? About the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And what does the Quran mention? About who are Rabbaniyun, those wama wahyu. Those individuals, those who do not falter, those who do
Wow.
not waver,
Wow.
those who do not become weak whenever there is affliction, wherever there is adversity, whenever there is any hardship or suffering in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mastakanu, they remain steadfast. They do not give in. This is very important. This is the qualities of who? The companions of Imam Hussein al-Islam. And if the companions of Imam Hussein al-Islam were like us, we can achieve that station. That means we ourselves can also become Rabbani. Now envision for a moment. Think about Karbala. When we say Karbala, it is a compound word. Karb and Bala. Peak of trial and tribulation. The peak of hardship that one can envision and fathom. Think for a moment that you are surrounded by 30,000 individuals who are the most barbaric and brutal that you can think of. The ones who perpetrated the most sinister and hideous and heinous crimes against humanity. They not just attacked the old and the young, they did not even spare a 6-month baby and attacked it with a 3-pronged arrow used to bring down families. They did the despicable act of trampling upon a dead body. They flogged and they slapped the women. This is sinister. You are surrounded by these individuals. You can see the scattered bodies of your family members, your dear ones. You are certain of the fact that now, once I am gone, my family will be subjected to the harshest of persecutions. And why do you think the people of Kufa, they went back on their pledge that they made with Imam Hussein al-Islam? Why do you think they broke that covenant, having invited Imam Hussein al-Islam? The reason is because they were afraid of the persecution, the severe persecution that they would be subjected to. How does a person who is now about to leave, he knows that his family is going to be subjected to these harsh treatment, what hope-inspiring words does he give them? How does he make them hopeful? Is there any hope? And this is why it's important that you study what Imam Hussein al-Islam on the day of Ashura says. He goes and he supplicates to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, Allahumma anta fiqati fi kulli hali wa anta rajai fi kulli shidda. Oh Allah, you are my refuge in all hardships. And you are my hope in every extremity. He goes, when just about to say farewell, he knows that my family is now at the disposal of the enemy. He can see that they are holding fire in order to burn their tent. They just waited for me to die. What does he mean here? He goes, Ista'iddu lil bala. Prepare yourself for bala. Because in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, تجاهدون في سبيل الله بأموالكم وأنفسكم. The helpers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those individuals that in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever issues, whatever afflictions, whatever calamities they are faced with, they endure. And they not only endure, they sacrifice, make a sacrifice by means of their wealth or by means of their souls. So Imam, he's saying, Ista'iddu lil bala. Prepare yourself for the hardship. And then he says, وَعْلَمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ حَمِيكُمْ وَحَافِظُكُمْ. But know, rest assured that Allah is the one who is going to protect you and Allah is the one who is going to defend you. Can you find a more hope-inspiring word than that? That you are being given to your Creator. Rest assured. Then Imam says, سَيُنْجِيكُمْ مِنْ شَرِّ الْأَعْدَاءِ. Know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to save you from the evil clutches of these individuals. وَيَجْعَلْ آخِرَةَ أَمْرِكُمْ خَيْرًا وَيُعَذِّبْ أَعْدَائِكُمْ بِأَنْوَاءِ الْأَضْرَارِ. Know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make your end the desired end, and He is going to afflict your enemies with the worst kinds of punishment. Can you find a more hope-inspiring words, sentences, just when you're reading? Because you know your family. Who better than to put your trust and reliance on the Creator itself?
Subhan.
As if Imam Hussein alayhi salam knew very well what was going to come. You know, it's like a teacher. He knows his student very well. They can predict the grade he or she is going to get even before they give an exam. Or a doctor. A doctor can give you a diagnosis simply just by looking at the signs and the symptoms that you have. He doesn't necessarily always need to do clinical assessment of that. Why? Because they have true belief in the science that they have acquired. The teacher knows through her experience that this individual will only attain that. Imam Hussein alayhi salam likewise, when he is saying these words, he is telling, no, be assured that I have a very, very fond and close relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you are reliant upon Him, know that even though you will be flogged, even though you will be subjected to the harshest of persecution, it will be you who will be remembered, it will be you who will be victorious, it will be you who will be triumphant, it will be you who will be commemorated, and it will be you who will be immortal.
Subhan. और मोहम्मद वाले प्यारे मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला
Do not despair. For as long as you are attached with Allah and do not lose hope from His mercy, then know you will be victorious. It's
Subhan.
interesting that on the night of Ashura, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, what does he say to his companion? He says, "Tafarraqu fi Sawab." Take advantage of the night, take advantage of the darkness, and go. I take back my allegiance. Do then what I ask you to do. I no longer necessarily need you. You can go, you're free. But on the day of Ashura, he's saying, is there anyone who's going to defend you? So on the night he's telling you to go, on the day he's telling you to come. Why the disparity? Who is he addressing on the night? He's addressing his companion.
Subhanallah.
The loyal companion, the impeccable, those who have firm faith in Imam Hussein alayhi salam, regarding whom our sixth Imam says, "Antum lana forit wa nahnu lakum tubi." You are exemplars for us. You are ideal for us. Who's saying that? Sixth Imam, who is an authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are exemplars for us. You are role models for us. You are ahead of us, and we have to follow you.
Subhan.
These companions, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, why is he speaking like that to them? Because he's giving you one more opportunity. Just in case, if there is even an ounce of pessimism that might have crept inside you. Because now you know for a fact that tomorrow you're all going to be killed. There's no running away. If there is a tinge of doubt in your mind, then you can leave. Because what I need is the purest of the pure.
Wow.
And that is why Imam Hussein alayhi salam said, Ashab al that none of the companions and the disciples of any apostle or the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were as loyal as mine.
Subhan.
But on the day of Ashura, his address is to you. On the day of Ashura, he's saying the enemy, that if from you there's anybody who has an ounce of hope and relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then I'm the buyer.
Subhanallah. Wow, wow. पर मोहम्मद वाले प्यारे मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
اللهم
صل
صل
على
على
محمد
محمد وآل محمد.
Primarily, the main reason why Imam Hussein rose is because of the fact that people were too attached to this world. Their hopes were attached with this world, as opposed to the Lord itself, and therefore they would become despair purely because of the fact that they might be subject to persecution. That's why they got their pledge. Fear, not fear of Allah, fear of the world. You know, it's interesting. If you think about it, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, not only the scaling and the victory events that he faced in Karbala, even when he was on path to Karbala, from Medina, when he started his journey, there were lots of individuals, renowned, famous individuals who were telling Imam Hussein alayhi salam, advising him not to go, discouraging him not to go. If you, for example, are going on a journey, I remember that you need to make this journey, and people come and they keep telling me, oh, don't go. You know, what you're hoping that people are going to send their prayers, maybe you have a safe journey. But if people tell you not to go, it generates negative energy. You think there's definitely a God only, don't you? I remember the elderly gentleman He's no more now, God bless him. He was very close to me. He used to come to our center. So he rang me. He said, I heard that you're having an operation. You did an operation. I said, yes. Inshallah, pray that it will go well. He goes, then you are gone. Anybody who has a knee operation, his life is ruined. These are occasions when you are seeking morale-boosting words, as opposed to, somebody putting you up. Because the doctor tells you this is the best medication right now for you. And then there's lots of individuals. His wife reinforced his point. He said, yeah, he's telling the truth. I can vouch for him. So it's like what? It's generating negative energy. Imam Hussein al-Islam, when he was leaving Medina, at the very least 20 renowned faces of Medina came to Imam Hussein al-Islam and advised him not to go. These were well-wishers of Imam Hussein al-Islam. They were not somebody who had alliance or allegiance to Bani Umayyah. They despised Bani Umayyah. For example, one of those individuals was Abu Bakr ibn Abdul Rahman Makhzum. He was one of the elite scholars of the time. Fuqaha Sab al-Medina, meaning one of the 7 elites, so grand merger of the time. He came to Imam Hussein al-Islam and he said to Imam Hussein, Yabna, or he is also a relative of this, or the son of my uncle. قد رأيت ما فعل أهل العراق بأبيك وأخيك. We know very well what the people of Kufa, the people of Iraq did with regards to your father and with regards to your brother, Imam Hassan al-Islam. They are not to be trusted. قد يقاتلك من قد وعدك أن ينصرك. I can guarantee you, I can assure you, the same individuals who have promised you that they are going to help you, those who have written letters to you, they are the ones who are going to kill you. Was he telling a lie? Was he telling a lie?
No.
No. It also, and this is exactly what happened. It means that he was a man of foresight. It means he was a man of perceptiveness. What did Imam say in Islam respond back to him? All he said to him is, Rabbi Allah and Aisha. I am content with whatever Allah has ordained and destined for me. Again, look at the focal point. The focal point is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I know this is my duty, and therefore whatever comes, whatever affliction comes in that path, I'm not going to despair. I'm not going to become hopeless. Forget about him. Aba Sa'id al-Khudri was somebody who he has more than 1,000 narrations attributed to him about the fazila of the merits and excellence that he had. He was 13 years of age. When in the Battle of Khandaq, he wanted to go and partake. His father brought him to the Prophet ﷺ, my son is very eager to go and fight and defend you. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, he is not of the age. He is not in the age of puberty. He is not valid right now. And he fought with Imam Ali in many battles. In the battle of Siffin, in the battle of Muharram. He was somebody who was a close eye of Imam Ali. Somebody who was also narrated the event of Ghadir, is one of the narrators. So a genuine lover of Imam Hussein and Ahlul Bayt of Islam. He came to Imam Hussein and he said, Ya Rasulullah, O son of Rasulullah, do not go. Inni lakum nasih wa bushra. Believe me, I am your sympathizer and I am your well-wisher. Man farada bihim faza bisahmi aqim. Whoever puts their trust and reliance on the people of Kufa has thrown an arrow in the wrong direction. Was he telling Allah? Again, it's true. But these were adding. Ibn Abbas, the great Mufassir Abdullah ibn Abbas, he himself came to Imam Hussein al-Islam. And likewise, he said the same thing. Anta, Fakhar, you are the source of our pride and honor. Ra'asul Fakhar, you are the Ras. You are the head of all the pride and honor that we have. Don't go, I advise you to go to Yemen. He cried when Imam Hussein al-Islam left. You see, the Prophet ﷺ, even when Imam Hussein al-Islam was born, he cried. When he was departing the world, he cried for Imam Hussein al-Islam. During his life also, he conducted many evangelists for Imam Hussein al-Islam because he had foreknowledge of what would transpire with him. And he would tell people when people would cry, أَتَبْكُونَهُ وَلَا تَنْصَرُونَهُ. Are you crying for him, but you will not help him? See, the likes of Ibn Abbas, even though they were very elite, They cried, but they did not join Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Bishop ibn Qasim, he was somebody who was heading back from Kufa, and Imam was heading to Kufa. And Imam asked him, how did you find the people of Kufa? He said, their hearts are with you, but their souls are against you. Was he lying? He said, no, true. Abdullah ibn Jafar, Ubaydullah ibn Jofi, Abdullah ibn Muti, Salama, Abdullah ibn Umar. I can name quite a few of these individuals who all came to Imam Hussein alayhi salam and advised him not to go. Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, he came to Imam Hussein alayhi salam and he questioned Imam Hussein. He said, your brother Imam Hassan, he signed the peace treaty with Muawiyah. Why don't you likewise do the same? Was he not an authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why don't you do the same thing with Yazid? Imam responded that فَعَلَى أَخِيكَ بِأَمْرِ اللَّهِ وَأَنَا أَفْعَلُ ذَلِكَ بِأَمْرِ اللَّهِ. Whatever my brother did, it was by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But whatever I am doing is also by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know what is the question that should arise? How is it that these individuals, these great personalities who were so close to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, they were questioning Imam, they were advising Imam Hussein. It goes to show, because one of the letters that Imam Hussein alayhi salam wrote as to why I am rising, Imam said, أَلَا وَإِنَّ السُنَّةَ قَدْ أُمِيتَ وَإِنَّ الْبِدْعَةَ قَدْ أُحْيَتْ. It is because the narrations, the traditions, the prophetic traditions, they have died. He doesn't use they are dying. He doesn't use the present tense or the future tense. He said they have died. One of the greatest traditions was what? مَوَدَّةً فِي الْقُرْبَى. Love for my family. Now you have these 30,000 individuals, vultures waiting to kill you. One of the greatest traditions was Ali ma'al-haq wal-haq ma'al-ali. But what had become? They began to curse Imam Ali alayhi salam from the pulpit. Innovations had crept into the religion. The religion had become contaminated. The status of Imamat had become blurred for even those who were close to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And that is why Imam Hussein alayhi salam rose. Because he wanted to show them, why are you questioning me? I am the son or the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ. I am somebody who is divinely elected. You should know that whatever I do is by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The tradition of the Prophet ﷺ was what? It was that Hassan and Hussein Imaman, Qa'ada or Father or Qa'ada, whether they choose to do sulh over there, they rise. They are always going to be imams, regardless. And this is why we should. This is why the status of Hazrat Abu Fazl Abbas al-Islam is so sublime. Because never once did he question Imam Hussein. Never once did he doubt Imam Hussein from his early childhood. It's no wonder our fourth Imam says that that for Abbas, my uncle Abbas, is a status that the entire humanity, all the shuhada, when they will see that maqam, they will see that rank, they will be captivated, they will be mesmerized, they will be awestruck. He was somebody who was completely compliant, adherent, somebody who was completely submissive to his imam. And that's why our sixth imam says, you tell his companions, when you go to the grave of my uncle, testify, bear witness to the fact that he was submissive. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, likewise, he was left with no options. He had to be a resistant because he had to illegitimize the government of Yazid. Because of why? Because the innovations were becoming prevalent. As a result of which, the status of Imamate was becoming blurred. If he had stayed quiet, it would be a seal of approval. It would be an endorsement of the rapidly changing picture of Islam, which was all the principles of Islam were being trampled upon. One of the battle cries of Imam Hussein alayhi salam when he was striking the enemy, what was he saying? He was saying, Al-Mawtu khayrun min hukub al-'ar wal-'ar awla min dukhul al-nar. that maut, death for me, is better, it is more preferable than humiliation and disgrace. What humiliation and disgrace was he hinting towards? It was the fact that the people had become slave to their own desires. One of the reasons why Imam Hussein al-Islam rose, and one of the slogans of Imam Hussein al-Islam was, in the Dina Dagalan, in the Deen Allah Dagalan, that the deen, the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had become a tool, it had become a device, it had become an apparatus that people were using for their own benefit. They had no commitment towards it, they had no inclination, the deep-rooted inclination and submissiveness that Allah desires was not there. إِنَّمَا مَالَ اللَّهِ دَوْلًا. The property, the wealth was unequally being distributed. Only the few had the wealth and the majority of the people were deprived. إِنَّ عِبَادَ اللَّهِ دَخَلًا. The people, they had become what? They had become slaves to their desires. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created mankind with inherent and intrinsic magnanimity that has taranna bani Adam. You say, no, hame karamat nafs ke saath insan ko farq kiya. They should not be bound their head because of anybody other than their Lord. They should not be fearing any persecution other than the eternal persecution and the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam had, he knew that he was treading on a path which had lots of mines on it. But you know, it was these minds that were stopping these individuals, as a result of which they had become pessimistic. Imam knew that if he was going to go on this path, sure he's going to die, but he was going to open the doors for those.
Subhan.
Those who would come back, those who were marching forward, they would not be hesitant, they would not despair, they would not become hopeless. Why? Because Imam has opened the door of hope for them, and he has closed the door of any form of despair.
और मोहम्मद वाले बैत मोहम्मद सलावत
Allahumma
सल्ले अला मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद वअज्जल सुभान अल्लाह सुभान
Something that we ought to evaluate every time we think, we should ponder upon. Why? What led him to say this? Why people today? What was the main reason? It is because of the fact that Imam knew very well these people have become detached from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, it's not just purely because of the fact that Yazid was a drunkard, Yazid was committing adultery. Well, so did Walid, so did Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, so did Mutawakkil, La'natullah Jameel. And Mutawakkil, he went, the scale of his adultery was, I feel ashamed to even mention it, he was way ahead of Yazid. It was because at the time of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the status of Imamate was being contaminated, it was being blurred. In relations with people, the people had completely detached themselves from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam had dialogue with Umar ibn Esaal on the 6th of Muharram. Imam, so basically they came to a negotiation table. On one side is Imam, Hazrat Ali Akbar, and Hazrat Ali Abbas. On the other side was Umar ibn Esaal and his servant. Imam says, Ya Umar, ittaqillah wa la tusharik fi dami. Umar, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do not partake in my bloodshed. He said, if I don't do that, I will be a loser, I will be sad. He said, what is it going to be sad? He said, they are going to take away my house. Imam said, I'll do it. He said, well, my livelihood, my business, my commerce, my trade, my garden, that is going to be usurped. Imam said, I will give you a garden, the trees of which have been personally cultivated by the hands of my father and not any other. What's enough? What's enough?
Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
He said, the security of my family is going to be compromised. Imam says, I will give you security. Imam keeps offering him hope.
Wow.
And he keeps rejecting it. Eventually the truth came. Eventually he said, well, if I do not partake in the bloodshed, I will miss out on the governorship of rain which has been promised to me. So it was what? Attachment to this world. It was the attachment to this world. The belief that everything is the world. The start and finish is the world. Imam said to me, you considered me to be the truthful. They knew the status of Imam Hussein was enough. It's not that they had any doubts who Imam Hussain was not. Imam said, you consider to be truthful, know that you will not achieve what you aspire to achieve. And Imam said, I can see your head being pelted. I can see your head on the spear being pelted by Kufa. Incidentally, 6 years after Ashura, on the day of Ashura, he was beheaded by Ibrahim ibn Imam Ashura. And exactly what Imam had said happened. But the point I'm not trying to make is because of these individuals, they have become too attached to this world. And then you have the other narrative of Hazrat Qur alayhi salam. Hazrat Qur alayhi salam, he did commit a great sin. The great and audacious action of blocking the path of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. But that's all we know about Hazrat Qur alayhi salam. What about his past? We don't know much. But it suffices to say that he was a man of Yazid. He was a man of Ibn Ziyad. He was selected ahead of Umar ibn Esaal, the main perpetrator. So he must be a close eye. He must be one of the trustworthy individuals from the army. Yazid is not going to elect an ordinary individual. His past must have been quite bad. His source of livelihood is from the government of Yazid. That suffices. But when he has those dialogues, I don't want to get into them, when he has those dialogues with Imam Hussain in Islam, and he finds himself, like he himself said, now I find myself between hell and heaven, and he makes a firm decision that I'm going to change. What does he do? He takes away his armor, he takes away his sandals, he ties himself, he puts dust on his face and on his head, and then he tells his son, oh, son, take me to Hussain like the criminal and the culprit that I am. And while he was going, what was he doing? Allahumma tubtu ilayka tub ilayka. Oh Allah, I have turned towards you. You also open your arms towards me. I am hopeful of your mercy.
Subhanallah.
I have not become despaired from your mercy, despite my crime. When he reached Imam Hussain, he did not look eye to eye. He was very ashamed. And he said, can somebody like me also be forgiven, who has instilled fear in your family, as a result of which your family is suffering? Imam recited the ayah, do not ever despair the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam said, if anything, I feel ashamed. You are my guest, and I cannot serve you as a host should serve you. Why is it that we become despairing in our life? Why is there element of hopelessness? Sometimes it is because of the various failures that we have. I could not get into the university, I could not get into the job, I failed in the job interview, I couldn't marry the spouse of my choice, I became bankrupt, I was expelled, I was ostracized. Also, the fact that you compare in your life, making comparisons, that is also very important. There are various narrations of the Masumina. Whoever has his eyes fixated on the assets and belongings of individuals, his sorrow increases. Why? Because it becomes prey to inferiority complex. Why me and not him? Or why him? Why not I? Why can he have 5 holidays within a year and I can have 1 holiday within 5 years? Comparison. When you lack something, when there's an absence of something, when there is a loss, can everything be equal? It's not feasible. It is not even practical. Imagine a world where everybody is equal. Everybody is same color, everybody is same height, all the features are the same. How are we even going to recognize one another? How can we even distinguish one another? Everybody wants the same job. Are there enough vacancies for one job? What about the undesired jobs? Who's going to do them? This is why it's the ninth Imam said, if everybody was equal and everybody had everything, the world will cease to exist. It cannot go on. It is not practical. At times you complain, why does he have a rich dad? Well, at least you have a dad. Many people did not. Many people are orphaned. The Prophet ﷺ came into the world and he was orphaned. His father was not there. Maybe Jesus and Islam came with our father, but did they complain? Did they say, oh, Allah, why did you not bring a father? Or which father? Why does he have a Ferrari? Why does he have an ordinary car? But at the end of the day, it does the same job. Sure, there might be certain benefits of a Ferrari. It's faster. Sure, I think it looks good. But it comes with its own headaches. You have to look after it. The insurances is skyrocketing.
Subhan.
And yes, it has its price. The maintenance is difficult as well. But at the end of the day, yes, you might leave. You might reach your destination a bit later. However, at the end of the day, it also takes you to your destination. The problem is not the assets that you have. The problem is when you're not able to manage what you have. And when you have trust and reliance and hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah gives you that internal satisfaction which money cannot buy.
Subhanallah, 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 Subhanallah.
This is why it is so important. We recite, it is so important. You assert, you say Allah is somebody who's all knowing, He is all aware, He is all seeing. The attributes of Allah in all the supplication. Joshua Kabir, La Tabiba Man La Tabiba La, Ya Tabiba Man La Tabiba La, Ya Rafi, Ya Shafi, Ya Kafi. When you say Kafi, it means suffices, then why do you despair? In Dua Kumail, you start off, Allahumma inni as'aluka bi quwwatika allati, bi ismika alladhi, bi nurika alladhi, bi wajhika alladhi, bi jabrutika allati. All of these are what? These are attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have you genuinely have faith in these attributes? Because if you do, if you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all wise, all wisdom, is there any scope for despair thereafter? There should be no scope for despair thereafter. How easy is it that you take the word of a doctor? If a doctor says, you need to have chemotherapy, you're going to lose your hair. Okay, fine. You need to have radiology, but there are side effects. Okay, fine. You're going to need to amputate your leg because the disease may spread to the rest of the body. You say, yes, you do not question the authority of the doctor. You do not dispute it. You do not say, are you sure that's my x-rays, that's my leg? No, you take the words of the doctor. Even though his diagnosis can be at times wrong, you still have faith in him. But the prescription that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, there is no chance of any mistake. Doctor said you need to have 2 tablets in the morning, 3 at night, and 4 in the afternoon. You don't question it. Why? Why no capsules? Why this? But when it comes to Salah, why 2 rakat? Why 4 rakat? Why question? When you have accepted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, of course, you should try to know the wisdom and the reasons behind it, but do not question it. Do not doubt it, because you have already established in your heart that whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does, whatever His commandments and ordinances and injunctions are, they are. There's wisdom behind it. Why was it so easy for Muhammad Islam to make such a sacrifice? Ali Asada, can you imagine a 6-month baby struck in your own arms with a 3-pronged arrow? How do you even remain sane? How do you not lose your sanity? But what does Imam Hussein Islam say? Ilahi, hawwali al-amr. The sacrifice that I have made is easy for me because I know it was done in front of your eyes. It has literally penetrated this reality that Allah sees, Allah is watching. It is a source of strength for an individual that I will receive the justice. I have not been wrong. I will receive. I am hopeful of the fact that Allah will recompense for whatever has been committed against me. When Sayyidah Zainab was told by Aziz, look how Allah has disgraced you. Look how He has humiliated your family. What does she respond with? Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. I do not see anything except beauty. Because your eyes are confined to just this world. I can see beyond that. I can see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised to us, which is immortality. Our names will be remembered. Our epic will have endurance. It will be everlasting. You will be gone. And that is beautiful. That is the beauty that I can see. How is it that a 13-year-old boy, كيف تعمل الموت إلا? Tell me, Qasim, what is the taste of boat to you, of death? أحلى من العسل. A 13-year-old boy is saying death to me is more sweeter than honey. Think about how immersed and drowned he must be in the essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How hopeful he must be of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not an ounce of despair was in his life. How easily he despaired. The Imam said to his companions, go, you can go. مَنَّ اللَّهُ بِكَ عَلَيْنَا. How can we go? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored us through you. He has graced us through you. He has privileged us through you. If we leave you, then the aspirations that we have of the status in the hereafter, we can't be hopeful of that. Why is it Imam Hussein, Imam Sajjad al-Islam is so confidently able to say in the court of Yazid that Allah has given us 14 and 6 Allah has given us qualities, 6 qualities, 6 verbs. One of the qualities is more that He has instilled our love in the hearts of the Muslims. Why? Because we are bodily individuals. We do not waver, we do not falter. We remain steadfast. And as a result of that, our names will always be it will always be alive. See, the same likewise, Ketki was asayat nasib juhda fawallah la tamu zikrana wa la tamutu wahyana. You can devise all your plans, you can formulate all your schemes, you can put your minds and forces to it, but no, Yazid, you cannot abolish us. You cannot eliminate us. Why? Because our trust and reliance and our hope is with Allah subhanahu. That is very good. And I end, because I've spoken too long. There's a narration, a very nice narration. Imam Ali alayhi salam, who's a
اللهم صل على
محمد وآل
once he was with
محمد.
his companions, and they were about to do talaq. He saw an individual who was making a supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya sahib al-bayt, al-baytu baytuk, والضيف وضيفه ولكل ضيف ضياف. O the owner of this house, the house belongs to you, and I am your guest. And you yourself have said that always serve the guest, regardless of whatever you have, whatever riches that you have. Allah is somebody who has everything. So he says that you have one thing which is unique to you, which I want. Serve me tonight, غِرَائِي تِلْكَ اللَّيْلِ الْمَغْفِرِ. Serve me by pardoning and forgiving. And then when he heard that supplication, he said to his companion, know that what he has asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been given to him. Because he said so with so much conviction and hope. Because of that conviction and hope, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has pardoned him. The next supplication that he makes, he says, Ya Azizan fi izzak wa ma a'azzaka minka. Oh, the mighty, oh, the all-powerful, oh, the one that nobody can compare to, nobody can come close to in terms of his power. أعزني بعزك في عز عزك. Make me also worthy. Elevate me also in your eyes with dignity and honor by the sake of your word. Then he says, while he's making, how beautiful supplications these are creating. Something that we ought to do in our lives too. Communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is something which is lacking. For as long as we do not have supplications in our lives, the light of the nur of the Masoom alayhi salam will not penetrate in our hearts. He goes on to say, أعطني ما لا يؤتني أحد غيرك. Give me something that aside from you, nobody can give me. واصرف عني ما لا يصرفه عني غيرك. And take away, repel and ward out from me something which aside from you none can do. The Imam said to his companions, you know what he's asked? He said, no. He says quite obvious. He's asked for Jannah, and he is asked, because nobody can give Jannah aside from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and nobody can ward off the punishment of hell aside from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, Imam said, Wallah, whatever he's asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah has fulfilled. Now the next day, the same individual comes again, and he begins to pray next to the Holy Kaaba. And while he's praying, he says, again he prays that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ilahi, من لا يحلو المكان ولا يخلو فيه المكان. Oh Allah, who is everywhere, He is not fitted in a particular place and He exists everywhere. He says, give me 4,000 days. ألف للدين، ألف للصلاة، ألف للعيش، وألف للبيت. 1,000 because I want to buy a house, 1,000 because I want to pay off my loan, 1,000 because I want to pay off my dowry, and 1,000 for other expenses. Now Imam, when he heard that, he came to him. Imam said to him, as for your previous 3 prayers, I have accepted that. Now as for your prayer for 4,000 dirham, come to me in Medina and I will give it to you. In other words, Imam was trying to say that as long as you have a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as long as you show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as long as you seek forgiveness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as long as there is a communication and spirituality and connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will fulfill the matters of the hereafter. As for the worldly affairs, we will give it to you.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah.
And interestingly, he came to Medina. And at that time, our Islam did not have anything to do. Imam was with Salman. He said to Salman, Salman, there's nothing I promised you 4,000 dirham. The only asset that he had was a garden. He said, go Salman, find out if there's anybody who's willing to buy this garden. Salman goes and he comes back and says, yes, there's a buyer. And he's willing to buy it for 12,000 dirhams. Salman said, okay. So he pays off 4,000 dirhams that he had promised that man. Normally when such a big amount is given to somebody, the word spreads. So it became spread and there was a line at the door of Imam Mahdi. In the same day, he donated everything. The 8,000 that he had remaining to everyone. Why? Because he knew deep down inside that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be charitable and generous. For as long as if He wants us to be generous, then He has to give it to me too. For as long as we want to, because I can say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you wanted to be generous, but you never gave. So I am going to give so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to give. How much hope there is. Many people used to object to Imam and say, why are you giving so much? Imam would say, may the likes of you become less in this world. I am giving, it is hurting you. So I'm not taking out of your pocket, am I? Why is it hurting you? When a person does not have any attachment to this world, when a person uses this world as a mean, as a mode, and he knows that this is the cultivating ground for the next world, then he remains hopeful of Allah's mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that we always remain hopeful and never despair. Please recite once again.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
As you know, in these days, we are commemorating the martyrdom of Hazrat Sakina Salamullah. One thing which there is no doubt about is that Imam had a daughter who was 3 years of age. There are narrations pertaining to what might remain be the differences, Sakina, Sukaina, Raya, but that's not important. Imam had a daughter of 3 years of age who he loved very much. I don't think anybody in Karbala has expressed as much love for Imam Hussein as this daughter, Sakina. Imam too had great love for his family. When he went into the battlefield, one of his battle cries was, Ahmi ayalat Abi, I will defend my family with every single ounce of energy and love that I have. He also used to express his love for Sakina. إني أحب دارا تكون بها سكينة وبار. I love a house in which Sakina and Bar are present. And I want to spend all my wealth on them. And I do not want any obstacle in that regard. Imam had so much love for Sakina that whenever he would communicate with Sakina, whenever he would speak to her, he would kneel down. He wouldn't just bend down, so he could speak to her face to face. It was a respect that he had for Sakina. He would fall his knees and speak to her face to face. When on the day of Ashura, It's quite interesting. When he was saying his farewells, the first individual that Imam called out, he said, Ya Sakina, Ya Sakina, Ya Fatima, Ya Ruba, Ya Zainab, alaykum salam. This is my final farewell and this is my final salams to you. As of now, we will be separated and a calamity awaits you. Sakina ran. She said, Baba, أستسلمت للموت? Have you accepted death? Imam replied back by saying, كيف لا أستسلم للموت من لا معين له ولا ناصر? Sakina, my baby, tell me, how can I not accept death who has no helper, who has no supporter? When Sakina heard that, she began to cry. When Imam saw the tears trickling down from her cheeks, he said, لا تهرك قلبي ما دام مني روحك جسماني. Sakina, do not inflame my heart with your tears of yearning. For as long as my soul is in my body, Sakina, I cannot withstand your tears. Sakina, I love you too much. Sakina, once I am gone, once I am killed, then cry for me as much as you want because you will be the most deserving to cry over my body. Sakina began to cry. Sakina did not want her father to go. She was looking for excuses. She said to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, Baba, Unzu Elayya, Baba Atishan, Baba, look at me, how thirsty I am. She knew very well whoever went into the battlefield never came back. Her uncle Abbas had promised her water. The only hope of water that she had was her father. Imam, his wound became fresh again. What does he respond? He said, Sakina, سيسقيك الله فإنه وكيل. Oh Sakina, inshallah, Allah will quench your thirst because I have put my trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sakina then asked for one final wish. Baba, once you are gone, I'm going to be an orphan. And I know how you show affection to orphans. I know how you cuddle and embrace an orphan. Baba, no one will be there for me. Baba, can you lie down and also cuddle me? Imam lie down on the plains of Karbala. Sakina was on top of Imam Hussain. The enemy was also watching this scene and they were crying too. Umar ibn Esaal said, throw an arrow, shoot an arrow towards the tent of Imam Hussain. Imam, when he saw an arrow, he left his family, he said goodbyes. Do you know when Imam Hussain was killed, the horse of Imam Hussain began to cry, began to neigh, and he also covered his face and he came back to the tent of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. When Sakina heard the voice of the loyal horse of Imam Hussain, she became hopeful. Perhaps my father has brought me water, which when she came out, she saw the horse was drenched in his own blood. Oh, the loyal ride of my father! Where is my father? Where have you left him? My father is all alone in the midst of these enemies. Go back and bring my father. The horse was so frightened that he began to pound his head on the floor. Lady Zainab came out. She began to beat her face. But do you know, Sakina wanted to go to the body of her father. She went to the body of her father. I read in the Maqatil that it says, نجتمع عدة من الأعراب حتى الروح منهم. It took several people. Hazrat Sakina was holding to the body of her father so tightly that it took several men to separate her from her father. This was the beginning of all the aggression, of all the assaults that this little angel was subjected to. Whenever she would cry for her father, they gave her the severed head of her father. She took the head of her father and began to communicate. Baba, Manzalati Katawarina. Baba, who has cut the ways of your neck? Baba, Manzalati Zahamakamatai. Baba, tell me, who has stained your beard with blood? Baba, Manzalati Aitamani Fisakasani. Baba, tell me, who has made me fallen in such a young age? Baba, Baba, you used to show affection, but these wretched souls, they beat me, they flogged me. Baba, I wish I was blind and I did not see such a stain. Baba, but you said once you are gone, I will be allowed to cry as much as I want. This little angel cried and cried and cried till it was pitch silence and Sakina was no more. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون ما أنفسهم.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. Hai Sham, Sham, 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 Hai Sham. तेरी उम्मत के ज़ेवर पहन कर, तेरी उम्मत के ज़ेवर पहन कर, देखो नाना चली हूँ मैं शाम, शाम, हाय 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 शाम. मैं देती कफन तुझको गैया, कर सर फेरता मेरे होती, घर होते खुले हाथ मेरे, तेरे जख्मों को हाथों से धोती. पाबंदे रसन सर बरहना, पाबंदे रसन सर बरहना, देखो भैया चली हूँ मैं शाम, शाम, हाय शाम, शाम, हाय शाम, शाम, हाय शाम, शाम, हाय शाम. जिस ज़ैनब को तुमने बिरादर कभी नजरें उठा कर न देखा, हाथ रस्सी से मेरे बंधे हैं और सर पे मेरी मेरा. कैसे कूफे में जाऊंगी गाजी, कैसे कूफे में जाऊंगी गाजी, जब बलवे में आएगा नाम. तेरे आबिद पे तारीख शी थी और कुलसुम सहमी खड़ी कभी देखूं मैं जख्मी सकीना जिसके दामन में कभी रहूं मैं अपनी रिदा को कभी रहूं मैं अपनी रिदा को कभी देखूं मैं जलते ख़याल हाय शाम हाय शाम हाय शाम शाम हाय शाम शाम हाय शाम तेरे बच्चे को लेकर गई मैं शब सारी में रोती रही हूँ कभी गाजी का लहजा बदल कर पहले भी बिस्मिल्लाह हुसैन इन बेवा बहू बेटियों से इन बेवा बहू बेटियों से क्यों करते नहीं हो कलाम हाय शाम हाय शाम शाम हाय शाम शाम हाय शाम तू है बादशाह या हुसैन कायनात तू है बादशाह या हुसैन कायनात तू है बादशाह या हुसैन 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 या हुसैन
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام على علي أمير المؤمنين السلام على فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين السلام على الحسن والحسين سيد الشباب أهل الجنة السلام على علي بن الحسين زين العابدين السلام على محمد بن علي باقر علم النبيين السلام على جعفر بن محمد الصادق السلام على موسى بن جعفر الكاظم السلام على علي بن موسى الرضا السلام على محمد بن علي الجواد السلام على علي بن محمد هادي السلام على حسن بن علي الزكي العسكري السلام على حجة بن الحسن القائم المهدي السلام عليكم شهداء كربلاء جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته اللهم صل على محمد ومحمد اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل على محمد